Facebook Live people, you guys should have told me this. I was so deep into it, I didn't see the countdown. Sorry, folks. I need to realize that the 1 hour was up. I was so deep into this, I didn't see the countdown that Instagram usually give me. Let me see if I see him come back. Did I miss him? No. We are getting into this with an educator. We're going to get into guys' questions right after this discussion. I haven't seen him. MC Agritech, who's that? MC Agritech, send us a side note. Let's have a conversation on the side. I haven't seen him come back. Huh? Oh, hold on. No, that's not him. Is that Cruz? Here we go with these dogs. Can you call them? I don't know what happened. He's not back. Hold on, folks. We're going to try to call him to see.
I don't know which number this is. WhatsApp?
Yeah, try. No, he's not on WhatsApp. He's on this phone.
Oh, he's on the phone you're using?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that doesn't help me.
Look at the 3:30 call.
Okay.
Don't know what happened.
3:30 was 4.5 hours ago.
Still waiting for him to come back, folks. Mr. Paul Sayers. Yeah, Sarge is out there doing her thing. Mr. Paul, like, we need to talk. I need to get your the agriculture minister on. Everybody give you a thumbs up if they'd love to have Minister Floyd Green on to talk about small ruminants, a plan. Give me a thumbs up, folks, if you agree that we should have Minister Green on. Yeah, that's what I think. There you go.
Okay, can you go back on? He's back on, okay? Alright, thanks.
Yep, see, Paul, we got all thumbs up. All thumbs up. We're gonna lobby hard to get Minister Floyd on. And I think, you know, Paul, come on, man. What do you mean, oh you ever get that? Yo, anybody who's friends with on Facebook with you know that should be an easy thing for you, Paul. Anybody who follow you from Facebook will know that it's an easy thing. And you work in the dairy board thing, so you have links. I'm still waiting for.
He said he's coming back on.
Yeah, he said he's coming right back on, so we're gonna see him. Damian Crawford. I don't know what happened to Damian Crawford. I haven't talked to him in a while. He may be on, and we don't know. Minister of Security. Well, I had the Deputy Commissioner or Assistant Commissioner. I haven't seen him yet.
He said he did. He said he did.
He's coming back?
He said he was.
I don't see him. Yo, Natty, yeah, Damien was pushing goats and he lost, so he just opened a big goat farm for himself. I don't know what happened to Doc. Maybe his phone died, I don't know. That was an abrupt end to our session. I don't know if he's having trouble getting on. Internet was kind of shaky. What you guys think about the discussion so far? Anybody want to jump in while we wait? Just send me a request and we'll talk.
Oh, he said, can you resend the invite? It's not necessary.
Send him a what?
He said he doesn't need to.
You just need to join the live. And I'll see him.
Hold on. Okay.
Yo, Fred, don't type the questions because they're gonna get lost in the comments, and then I have to scroll through to find them.
Instagram.
Instagram
and
live.
See that we're live, and you click on the live button, and then he'll see that you're there. Just go right back into Instagram like you did at the beginning. You're not? He's not seeing it.
Is he following the right account? Is he in Cabra Ranch?
Cabra Ranch. But he should see it.
Don't know what's going on. He's not seeing us anymore. Anybody who wants to.
Are you seeing it now? He's seeing it now.
Okay, he's coming. If Sergeant or friends will shut up. Who is MC Agri Tech? Anybody know who that is? I don't see him. I don't see him yet. Big up my brethren chemist. Well, it looks like he can't get back on. Because I haven't seen him come back. Anybody wants to? Oh, oh, yeah, you're gonna hear, Bertrand. Respect, thanks, give thanks. Okay, here he is. He's back. He is back. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Ray.
That was a little. I didn't realize. IG give us an hour each session.
Yes.
But because we were so deep in discussion, I didn't see the countdown.
Okay.
And the 1 hour expired on us.
Right.
But we're back. So we were
talking about
in
the financing,
deep.
right? And the point I was making,
Yes.
Ray, is that my experience over the last 12 years is
Yeah.
as I point out in terms of if you look, and sometimes when I speak, I don't necessarily speak in terms of the individual experiences. I speak on the system as a whole. So to make that clarification. When I look at, for example, at the level, the amount of loans to the agriculture sector within Jamaican economy, it's only 2%. You follow what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's only 2%. And much of those loans are taken up by large chicken farmers building tunnel houses. And those are 50 million a pop. But in terms of loans to the smaller farmers, the medium-sized farmers, it is limited, minimal at best. Now, you raise a very important point about registration. And I encourage farmers to register their farm, because when you register your farm, you can get a 10-year tax break. Right? And many farmers don't know that. And that can expand to up to 15 years. Now, a lot of Jamaican farmers have this, what I call it, an irrational fear of the tax man. No. And they don't believe that farmers should pay taxes. So those are some of the, so that is a challenge in the sector we have to fix. How do you convince a man that becoming a part of the system is a good thing for him? Because the reality is real. When the World Bank did their study about 10 years ago, they estimated the informal economy, which is where most of the agriculture sector is, represents 45% of the formal. So the reality is real, that we certainly as I said, as a group of farmers, have not accepted and recognized the value of formalization. People are not seeing the benefits of it. How do you convince Jamaican farmers, that it makes sense for you to regularize the business?
Well, it starts from the top. It starts with the Minister of Agriculture telling people the benefits. Telling people the benefits of formalizing your business. Like, they're so, word of mouth.
But Ray, I know as a matter of fact that they do.
No, they don't. I've never seen one ad or one ad.
No, they do, because I can tell you that I have been part of those discussions with farmers. But here's
you said no. There's a difference between talking to farmers,
yes,
and do PSAs. Like when I hear PSA about COVID, I hear PSA about flu, I hear PSA about mosquito, all that stuff. But nobody ever say, yo, agriculture is important to this country. Small farmers, I need you to register your farm. Go to RADA and they will walk you through registering your farm as a business. You need to be in the system so we can provide services to you. You'll be on record knowing that in St. Mary we have 5,000 registered farmers. They need to educate people.
Because the farmers are registered with RADA. There are two types of registration.
That's not a business.
No, hold on.
You can go to RADA and register because you have five.
No,
You have
but the
chicken
farmers,
coop.
so the farmers are registered. The issue is that because I know, as a matter of fact, and maybe it's a difference of presentation to the farm, or you present to farmers. But I know that RADA encourages farmers to set up business, to formalize your business.
Okay. So
you're saying,
that,
you're making a point, Ray.
Yeah.
Which I take. I mean, I don't disagree with you. You know, you're saying that the ministry should change their approach to how they communicate with the farmer in that respect. And I take the point.
Exactly.
I don't disagree. But I'm also saying to you that I don't know that when RADA meets with farm groups, they do encourage them to go that route. But I can also tell you that many of the farmers are afraid. They feel that somehow the taxman is going to come and take away their business.
It's lack of education. It's lack of letting farmers know the benefits. People everywhere you go in this world, people are scared of taxman.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere, except the successful people who know how to use the tax system.
Right.
And if you tell farmers that there's benefits, like tangible benefits to registering your business, they will do it. Because everybody like getting a little money. You know, they will do it. You can't reap the benefits from a system that you're not a part of.
I fully agree. It is certainly something that I will have a discussion with RADA on, because I think it's important to convince farmers of why it is important to register your business. You see, part of the challenge in a way is that when you teach farmers that the farming is a business, a man will tell you that he's a farmer, not a businessman. He doesn't connect the two. So that is part of the transformation that has to take place if the sector is going to survive and thrive. So I take the point completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And okay, so let's talk about the red tape in the system.
Yes.
The red tapes that we face in the system when it comes to importation, whether it's genetics or farm equipment or technology or concession. There's so many red tape for small or medium farmers to get ahead.
And let me just put it in perspective, Ray. Red tape is universal across the board. It affects every industry in Jamaica. Right? Now, registration as a business actually improves your ability to minimize red tape. You recognize that, right? And so part of that, this is part of the benefit of the farmer registering with RADA. So let me say this. The customs will provide you with a certification that minimizes the tax on import of certain critical equipment once you are registered and approved by RADA. They do the assessment, and once they determine that you are a business, you can actually get you can get a removal of the custom duty on that. No. So there are different issues that affect different aspects of the sector. So for example, you talk about genetics. I agree with you. I think the pace at which we move to solve problems in terms of importation of say goats or semen or whatever, I agree with the challenge that you're facing. I think it's a challenge. It's something that we have had a discussion with about to say how do we fix this. At the same time, there's a certain fear that they have. We have had instances where we have imported animals from different countries that has resulted in serious disease outbreaks. But you still have to manage the importation process as efficiently as you can, despite those concerns, right? And that's where you're tapping into is that. So you cannot divorce yourself from the real possibility of importing diseases that could wipe you out, right? Because in this sector there are numerous. For example, in pigs, the pork circle. I don't know what they call it. I can't remember the exact name for it. but it is a virus that we imported from importing animals from a particular country. It took us 10 years to control it. So we know there's an issue where that is concerned. But at the same time, we're not moving efficiently enough to fix certain problems.
Yeah, and we're not creating litigating circumstances to avoid
and
that. We're
Jamaica only
just
imports from certain
closing the
countries to
door.
read. Jamaica only imports
Yeah.
from certain countries. You know, if you need to import from other countries, you have to go through a process that they call it's a risk analysis. And that risk analysis can take a very, very long time to get done. It's very tedious and time consuming. And Paris, that is part of what we need to do. So do we speed up that process? Because now, for
Yeah.
example, I can tell you, I know of companies that are trying to import from other countries, probably from Costa Rica. We don't traditionally import from Costa Rica. So it has to go through a long process, which I think is too long. But I share the point with you that that's something we need to correct. Because genetics is also a critical part of the transformation that needs to take place and the use of technology to improve the outcome and combat the two we were talking about earlier, which is competitiveness. You know, you have to use, and I give you an example. Let me give you an example, Ray. In pineapple production, 11 years ago, we introduced a variety of pineapple called MD2. Now, MD2, initially farmers resisted it. People didn't trust it. We brought it in. 11 years later, it is the dominant pineapple production in the country. It's more efficient. It allows us to be more competitive. So we understand the importance of genetics. But how do you convince the critical agencies of the importance of speed and efficiency in the public disposition of the responsibility?
Well, I'm just a farmer.
Yeah.
There's another issue that I discovered through our day-to-day operation and trying to improve what we do here. We got into a situation where thinking that, you know what, we should get a vehicle for the farm.
Yes.
Right? And we're thinking, okay, we did everything they say we should do. The business is registered. We pay NHT. We're tax compliant. Register with RADA. Everything. We say, you know what? We should apply for a concession for a vehicle.
Yes.
They come and tell us we need 300 goat. 300, not even 300. It was so shocking.
Yeah.
To hear them say of everything that we're doing, silage, everything, pasture, all this stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
Them say, yo, if you don't have 300 goats, you can't get it. Well, so I asked them, like, do you understand what 300 goat is? Like, do you know how much 300 goat is, like what 300 goat is? That's their standard. And then they sent us the thing, and a man will have 2 acre a Kalaloo. Can get it. Can get the concession because he's registered as a crop farmer. He can have 2 acres of Kalaloo and get the concession.
Well, let me say this theory. It is something that I have encountered. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is something that I will certainly reach out to the PS to say, listen, maybe this is something we need to review. I'm not sure if it is in law, right?
I don't know if it's in law now because I listened to the guy that was with the minister in Linstead.
Yes.
And somebody there brought it up, saying it's unfair that they're using these old standards to judge people on getting this help when everything changed. The guy is a aqua whatever farmer,
aquaculture,
hydroponic farmer. So and he grows things vertically, right? And he's doing very well. But he can't get it because he's not on 2 acres. But he's making 10 times the amount of money.
Right.
And he's doing way better business, and all he needs is a van to expand his business. But he doesn't qualify because he's not on 2 acres. So then, hold on. The guy that was with the minister came on and replied to the guy and said, that is not fair. That is not right. They're supposed to come and do an individual assessment.
Yes.
He's like, that's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to do an individual assessment because not everybody fits the same thing.
Right.
So you can't just look at a piece of paper and say, oh, I'm not 2 acres, I'm not qualified. So somewhere along the line, people are just looking at some old printout or something and just going by it instead of showing up
Right. But
and looking
it
at
might
the
not be,
operation.
the point I'm making, Ray, that it might not be law, but it might be the regulation that needs to be changed. But the point I think I'm making is that I believe it's an issue that the ministry itself has recognized. Right? And your point is that something needs to be done about it. I agree. Because I think it's I have come across it myself. It's a matter that I've been raised before. In fact, I know of one farmer in St. Catherine, and the issue was about the amount of coconut trees he had on his farm, whatever. So I understand the issue perfectly. And it's something that needs to be adjusted because I think it needs to be a function of value, not necessarily the acreage. So there are some combination thereof.
Yeah, I'll
But
tell the farmers how it works. It's
yeah,
like 300 goats, but your revenue only needs to be $250,000.
right, right,
I'm like, dude, I sell that in a week.
right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that make any sense whatsoever?
So I would agree
You
that that
can't
is some,
help me grow
well, tell you
based
what,
on
Ray,
some technicalities.
I'll make a commitment to speak to the PS about it because I think it's something that we need to look at and address. But it's an issue
Oh
that
yeah, somebody needs to seriously look
yeah,
at it
I've
because
come
it's
across that
holding
issue
back.
too. But let me just address
It's
there's a question
holding back
on the
people.
screen. Ray, there's a question on the screen about registering RADA is different, registering as a business. The answer is yes.
Yeah,
Registering RADA
completely different.
is to access certain benefits that RADA provides. You register with a business is like registering with the companies of Jamaica, which is a totally different process. But RADA can assist the farmers in doing that completely different process. Okay?
Yeah, and I tell people get the business registered. There's a three-way process. I think you register your business. Once you register the business, quickly you get a TRN and you get a short-term tax compliance certificate,
Yes.
and you go directly to a bank and register, get a bank account for the business. Do
Yes.
not wait too long because the TCC only lasts for so long. It lasts for like 3 months.
In some cases,
Then you
yes.
first get it. Yeah, after that, then you're gonna have to go through the whole NHT, what heart and all that stuff to go and get a TCC after that. So once you register the business, quickly go get the business account. That's my experience. That's the advice I was given. That's how we did it. So, oh yeah, oh sorry, yeah, my bad. My bad. Our experience was the long way where we waited. The TCC expired. Then we had to go through
The long
NHT,
process.
heart, and all that
The long process.
stuff to get them to, yeah.
Right.
So I suggest don't do what we did
Right.
because it's not nice. It's not fun.
Right. Right. And that's good
Yeah.
advice,
So
Ray.
yeah,
That's good
and
advice.
we've been preaching this for 2 months now, and I'm not gonna stop because I think it's important that we help farmers, get this stuff, get them business in order, so we can all succeed. Okay, let's move on to the
Yes.
vision of agriculture in this country, specifically livestock,
Yes.
because we have a lot of livestock farmers on here. How do we navigate the challenges we face moving forward? One,
Well,
we spoke
okay.
about. Go ahead.
I was going to say to you that the vision in my vision, not the way I see it, is that first of all we need to remove or replace the millions of dollars in imports that we do of meat products or milk products. 12 million US dollars worth of sheep and goat meat, 56 million US dollars worth of milk products, millions of dollars in beef products. So the first thing I think we need to agree is a vision where we become self-sufficient in livestock production, whether it's milk or meat or what other combination there is. That I think has to be the vision. We then have to figure out, Ray, if that's the vision, how do we get there? What is it that we need to do in order to move us in that direction? So, and we have to build a pathway. We have to then look at the value chain to see, okay, what is the issue within the value chain that we need to correct in order to move us in that direction? And that's where a lot of the issues that we were discussing earlier today about how do we, because in fact we're talking about the nooks, the cranny, the details of how to achieve the vision, but the vision needs to be. And part of it is that we ourselves have to agree that this is the vision we're trying to achieve. Because if you don't set a clear vision, Ray, it waters down the activities that you engage in, because you're not sure you want to achieve, you're not sure what you want to achieve. So that's the first step in the process that we need to agree to. I can give an example.
And it's
when in 2008 when we set out to replace the importation of Irish potatoes. We were importing 22 million pounds of Irish potatoes. We took a decision that in 5 years, we wanted to get to 80% of domestic consumption. We started in earnest in 2009. By 2013, we had reduced importation to 5 million pounds from 22 million pounds. We set a vision, we had a clear target. We identified the farmers, we identified the financing, we identified the markets. We shepherded the farmers into long-term contracts with the buyers. And we also tie into that the import policy to support the whole framework that we set up and the whole value chain that we put in place.
Well, I know it's doable because they did it with chicken.
We did with chicken.
Yeah.
We have done this other product. We have done it with Irish potatoes. We're doing it now with onions. So we have examples of how that can be applied. And I think for the small ruminant sector, Ray, this is what we have to set out to do. Right? We have to work with numbers. One thing that I recognize that we don't do numbers. We don't talk numbers. And that has to be the key part of what we're trying to achieve. To be frank with you, Ray, my personal, as a goat farmer, let me proudly say, my vision is to have at least 1,000 females in 6 years. That is my vision.
Yeah.
Because 100 goats, 200 goats is not going to produce the sustainable revenue that I'm looking for long term. Right? So we have to set some serious long-term targets of what we're trying to achieve in this industry.
Yeah. Long-term targets, and people got to come up with a plan to get there.
Absolutely.
You know, we've been talking about, Lincoln been talking about numbers for 3 years.
Yes.
You know, people need to focus on getting numbers up, Yes. So is this the vision that you're implementing at Case?
Absolutely. Well, my vision at Case, I can tell you, 1,000 goats in 5 years and 500 milking cows.
Okay.
And in order for me to achieve that, I need 64 acres of grass.
How many acres of land Case have?
I have leased 500 acres up in St. Margaret's Bay. I have 80 acres in Anata Bay, and I'm sitting on 627 acres at Case. But the challenge of Case is that the land of Case is not viable for agriculture production. It's very difficult to farm on. Very hilly.
That's interesting. They put an agriculture college on land that's not conducive to farming.
It's a challenge, but it can grow.
Yo,
3 crops very well.
Sorry, I don't need to laugh. It's just
let me tell you something.
It's just weird.
Let me tell you. Let me share the way I look at things. This is what I've inherited as the president of the institution. So I take this as a given. How do I move forward? So I recognize that in order for me to expand my goat operation, my cattle operation, I need to grow more grass. So I acquired the land in Anata Bay to produce grass, to ensile, to produce hay, so I can feed into the operation at Case, which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Support the long-term vision of where I want to be. So we work it out. We're now trying to seek financing to put up the infrastructure. Because when you're going zero grazing, you really need to put up some basic infrastructure that's critical to how you manage your animals.
Yeah, well, you're in a good position to really make some impact because you got free labor.
The rest, that is true, and and I can tell you that the agriculture students for as we have actually doubled the numbers in 5 years. So there's a lot of interest really in the country around agriculture.
So are you going to start a research center up there?
We have a research center. We're doing work on different things. Right now we're doing work in the crop area primarily. We're looking at new varieties of sweet potatoes. We're working on pineapples. We have a research institute in Cuba that we work with, we partner with. We're looking at new varieties of pineapples. We're doing some work on bananas. So we're doing work on different aspects. We're also looking at building out aquaponic systems, looking at aquaponics, hydroponics, and trying to tie down and look at how we build out. We have a program, for example, to grow fruit trees. We're expanding into coconuts and breadfruit and akis and avocado. And we're building a processing center in Buff Bay because we are actually demonstrating now the entire value chain. Not just production at the production end, but also to develop the agri-processing capabilities to demonstrate how we can process these things. And in fact, in Buff Bay, we've already solarized. We're actually now on we're using solar power in Buff Bay. Because that's part of our vision to transform case into a self-dependent. Basically, we want to provide our own power using solar, possible wind. So we're actually looking at some of those issues now. But the reality is that just for the record, I mean,
yeah.
While and just emphasize the point, while we sit on a lot of land, the fact that most of that land can really only be used for growing grass and using for pastures and for tree crops. And that's what we're trying to build out. There's a question
Well, if you can grow grass, you can grow.
No, the dirt, the layer is about, the soil is not very, very deep. In many cases, like 6 inches deep. So it don't allow for any.
The topsoil?
The topsoil, yes. 6 inches.
Yeah.
So it's not particularly deep. So it can't really grow anything beyond what I suggested to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take some questions to round this off to the hour.
So there's a question: are we making money?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. I mean, we're not struggling for cash. Our problem, our challenge case now is receivables. We do a whole lot of money that we need to collect, but we do generate a fair amount of revenue from our farm operations as well as from other things that we do. Now we're getting into drying up breadfruit to create breadfruit flour, because we do breadfruit flour now, but we process through another processor. We're not doing that. We're actually doing a dryer. We're building out a drying system to dry fruits and to dry breadfruit, so we can produce our own flour. So there are some innovative changes.
Someone asked about greenhouse farming.
Yeah, we do emphasize greenhouse farming. Is greenhouse farming sustainable? It is sustainable, but again, the mechanics of it or the economics of it is no different from goat farming. People just need to be efficient with it, right? I know a lot of people do greenhouses, but they have a single greenhouse. It's not viable, and they don't use the right plant density within the greenhouse. So that's something that we have to also look at. And again, critically, Ray, because greenhouses cost money to maintain, you have to have a market applying to. Okay.
Well, you're gonna need a marketing manager underneath you to start beating the streets and working the phones to create market.
We do right now, Ray, to be frank, we have developed our market relationships with hotels and supermarkets. So sometimes we market products on behalf of farmers in the area that may ask us to do so. So, for example, we recently would have marketed pineapples on behalf of the St. Mary Multipurpose Farmers Association. So we will provide support to farmers in that respect if that request is made, and if we can afford to do so. Do we have an animal breed and genetics program? No, we are developing one, especially with goats, and we have some particular interest in terms of goats. We certainly would like to we'd like to improve the genetics of the local Jamaican goat. And we also like to look at can we create in the based on the work of TP Lecky, a composite, a new breed that is Jamaicanized, that has the elements of Nubian and Boer and Saanen.
Yo, start dancehall goat.
Yeah, in
I've
fact
been saying that for months. Somebody needs to come up with a plan and a way to create the dancehall goat. That's just straight, more meat to bone ratio.
Yes.
And has the similar native flavor, native whatever, and
the Jamaican, exactly, because
and the hybrid vigor that grows fast and all that stuff.
Yes.
And Jamaica have them own style of goat.
Yes. So we actually developed a plan, and we are now. In fact, one of the things that we want to do, Ray, is that we want to bring in a number of new genetic material to the college as part of the research program. It's something that we have actually talked about. But it's something that we are so interested in doing, and that's why, for example, we have actually started a new goat farm outside the tutorial farm. So we have two goat farms. We have a tutorial farm that we use for teaching purposes, and we have now built a new infrastructure for a commercial goat operation. There was a question about masters and PhD. We do offer master's programs now. We have our masters in animal science, and we have our masters in education as well. And we're building out new master's programs as we go
along. It sounds like you got a lot on your plate. Like, I'll play devil's advocate with so much iron in the fire. Like, shouldn't we focus on 5 things?
Well, you see, we are college. I mean, we don't have the luxury of focusing on 5 things.
No, I'm talking about the revenue enterprises, not the courses.
No. Well, so we're doing pineapples. We have milk. We have goats. We have bananas and planting. That's our core. We have added one more, which is lettuce production, because we have a specific contract that we're gonna start on in a few months. So we don't have, so we actually focus on some core revenue drivers.
Okay. Got it. Any more questions, folks? Let me see what we got on Facebook.
Do we offer online courses? We have produced the courses. We are now transferring those courses online. We actually want to create a case online university where farmers can do these courses for free, but if they want a certification, then they pay for it.
And there's a question on Facebook Live. Outside of animal for tutorial, is there a small stock seed project at the college to achieve your vision?
But you mean just, can I get a clarification? A seed project?
Well, the question is, outside of animal for tutorial, is there a small stock seed project? So I guess he's asking if there is Yes,
we have a commercial farm. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
We have a commercial goat farm. We started last year, November.
How many heads?
We know about maybe 60, 70.
And you say your goal is 1,000?
Yes.
In 6 years?
In 6 years.
Are you gonna clone them?
No, we've worked it out. It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable.
Yeah, I'll be keeping a close watch.
No, it's doable. We work for the model.
Because I'm gonna figure out I don't know where I can get stock. If you can get to 1,000 in 6 years, I'm watching. I'm keeping a close eye over there.
I mean, I can share the idea. We can share the model. We have worked with the model. We think it's viable.
Yeah, let's hear the model. We got majority goat farmers. Let's hear the model that you're working on.
No, but
To get
if
to
you think about it,
1,000.
Ray, we are starting right now with about about 60 females, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so depending on your percentage of how much of those goats you intend to get pregnant, let's
Mm-hmm.
assume 95% of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we expect at least 57 of our goats to be pregnant. A ratio of 1.5, typically 50-50 between females and males. When you actually
What's
work
your
out the
kidding
one,
rate that you're talking about? What's the kidding
1.7. We're
rate you're
talking
talking about?
1.7. We're talking 1.7.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So for folks who don't really pay attention to these things, 1.7 kidding rate means, you're close to each animal having 2 kids.
Yes. Yes.
That's a high rate.
Yes, but I think it's again, there are animals who are going to give you 3.
Okay, that's what you're thinking.
We have a couple of 3 droppers in the herd.
Okay, so hold on. So now
Yes.
you're gonna breed the 57, a minimum of 57, let's
Yes.
say. Then you're gonna have a kidding rate of almost 2. So you're gonna have, what percentage are you anticipating will be females versus male
We anticipate
in the
50%.
kids? 50,
Yes.
and you think that's gonna get you to 1,000 in
6 years. Yes.
6 years?
I can show it. I can show you the model. I can show you the workout.
Yeah, that's an ideology that's like very slim to achieve.
No, it's
Because
doable.
are you factoring mortality rate,
Yes. Yes.
all
Yes.
that stuff?
Yes.
But you're
Yes.
not selling any animals.
Not we only sell the males, not the females. So the first 5 years we won't be selling any females.
All right. Well, you see, you have the bet you can do that because you're either subsidized from
Right.
other
So I'm not depending on
enterprises or
revenue.
something.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
because other farmers can't do that.
No.
Regular
Because they need
farmers
to
have to.
sell. They need to generate revenue. So they need to sell some of the females. So
Yeah.
they'll grow at a
Yeah.
much slower pace.
Yes. So I would I want to put that disclaimer out there
That is fine.
That's based on the fact that he can afford to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a question about the CSA model.
CSA mean, just a clarification.
CSA mean community supported agriculture. It's what I brought up earlier.
Yes.
I didn't use the acronym, but so somebody's asking, are you pushing that concept or model?
We do that. It is infused in the program. Because for example, we send students to work in communities in different areas. We have sent students to work on farms in different areas. We teach people. In fact, our internship is called a cooperative model. So we actually using the model to build relationships with farmers. We're deepening our relationship with farmers around case. So, for example, we send our students to work on farms with Irish potato farmers up in some of the areas of Portland. Our farmers go to farms where farmers are growing pineapples. So, in fact, we're incorporating the model in our training program, in our cooperative internship models, as well as our normal day-to-day. For example, every student of case probably they have visited your farm already. They go to many farms around the country. So we're exposing them to different systems, different approaches, different types of farms. So we're trying to expose them to that kind of idea. So it's something that it's not a formal thing in the curriculum. We're in fact building out an extension. We're developing a BSc in extension services. That model is more central to that particular program. But in the regular programs, we do talk about and incorporate a lot of our activities that we do.
Okay. The question: if I'm new to farming and want to study farming more, both livestock and crops, where do I go to get basic training and then to further my studies?
Well, you can it's www.case.edu.jm. www.case.edu.jm. And you can look at the different programs that we have. We have numerous programs in agriculture. We have a basic program. We have a diploma in agriculture. We also have an associate degree that covers both crop and livestock. And then we have a BSc in livestock, we call animal science. We have an associate degree in veterinary sciences. We have a full degree in agribusiness, a full degree in plant science. So we have a number of different programs depending on where you want to go and what your interest is in the area.
Got it. So there's just a lot of challenges on your projections for the 1,000 animals. I think you said 6 years, not 5 years, right?
Yeah, 6 years, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think some people are saying 5 years, but I think it's 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, I can't run numbers in my head like that. I have to put it down on paper. So I don't know nothing about. I can answer that or challenge that at the moment. All I know, it sounds like it's a lot to get to in such short time, but you know what I mean? Karen says it's doable. TJ says it is possible. You can double your herd every 2 years. But double your herd means you're not selling any animals. Like,
I'm not selling any females.
I gotta look at the holistic approach. I can't just,
but you're asking
keep
about,
every animal. There's so many variables.
You asked me about case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying for us it's doable. Because we
selling,
for
you it's doable.
Yeah, we're selling meals.
Yeah.
In fact, we don't use sell any animals. We send the meals into the canteen.
Yeah.
Because we feed 1,000 students a day.
You sell it to them or you give it to them?
No, it's part of the we sell it to the canteen.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what I mean? You gotta sound like you have a very strong enterprise, good commercial goat enterprise going on over there.
That we're building.
Sooner or later, nobody now call me from Portland.
Right, for what?
From goat. Me have enough clients at Portland, you know.
Nah, man, listen, the industry is expanding so rapidly, you'll always have business, man.
Okay, so there's another question. The veterinary programmer case, does the institution push vets to work on farms, I guess?
Yes, and we do. We have students who work with horses and goats and cows. One of the things that we do an associate degree. We are looking to build into a full-grown BSc, or to create we want to produce vets ultimately, but it's a very expensive program to build out. So we're working on that. But we're actually engaged now with the veterinary division to establish to take over the veterinary facility in Port Antonio. So Case could offer vet services for not just for goats and cows, but also for dogs and cats and whatever. And then expose our students through that.
Speaking of which, can you name some of your alumni that are very active or visible in the space?
Well, Khalil went there. Khalil is there.
I think Khalil is your MVP. I don't know nobody else that can top
No,
Khalil.
Listen, most vets in Jamaica would have been exposed to Case. Would have been a
Dr. Patrick went there too, right?
Yes.
Dr. Patrick went?
Most vets in Jamaica passed through Case. If not all.
But they're not visible, man. I'm talking about visible. So it's between Dr. Patrick and Khalil for me.
No, there are others. But what I'm saying is that they tend to work with companies and not necessarily freelance. But they tend to work with a firm.
Okay.
So they work with horses. I mean, they work with Kimanas Park. For example, Dr. Trying to remember his name. Bartlett. Who works with he's a graduate. He works with horses. So we have a lot of veterinary science students who work across the board. They tend to go
Okay.
off, finish up their
Mm-hmm.
degree, they come back, they either set up private practice or they work with a firm.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, Dr. Patrick and Khalil is in the streets. Those guys are our MVPs. Those guys are in the streets every day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
And we encourage them. And we
that's
encourage
what
them.
we need.
We encourage
And
them.
though, and Paul has a question. Do you have semen bank for cows and goats there?
No, but we don't have the resources to build the facility to store them. But
Mm-hmm.
it's something that we have discussed among ourselves that as to where we want to go, because we want to move case to straight AI. Whether for goats or pigs or sheep or
Yeah.
or cows, we want to go AI. So that's something that we are actually looking at. What because the facility to store semen is not cheap. But that's something we are actually working towards.
Okay. Well, sounds like you got made big plans, and you know you're welcome to come back on this platform anytime to speak on what you're doing and how you're helping, you know, young people take on agriculture in a sexy way, not the old school way.
But
You know what I mean?
Ray, let me share
Like,
this with you. When I started working with the ministry as a consultant in 2009, our model was to make agriculture sexy again, right? And we decided that all images of farmers with no teeth on a donkey, we remove all of those from the ministry. That we need to show
yeah,
farmers are successful people. We need to show that the farmers drive big house and drive big cars just like anybody else.
yeah,
Right? Because we need to improve and change the perception of farming in the country.
yeah. And we need to feature young farmers.
Yes.
You know, young farmers that are doing great things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's the objective. And once we, you know, let people see that, hey, there's young farmers or middle-aged farmers, whatever it is, and they're doing well, and them not the man them with the cutlass over them shoulder and
Yes.
whatever. No,
Let
it's
me
not
tell
the
you
man
something.
them a drive.
I mean,
a pickup truck, a nice
right.
pickup truck, and everything nice.
Ray, let me tell you
That's
something.
what
We think we have some stars emerging. We're seeing some
yeah.
young students now that I mean they'll take the place by storm. Believe me. The
Yeah.
15 that we have sent to Israel,
Mm-hmm.
we selected the best of our students. When those students come back, we're going to send 15 more. And we're going to infuse the sector with that kind of mindset. And I'm
Paul
telling
said
you,
old school still sexy. Old school not sexy, bro. Well, me don't know which farmer, old school farmer you're talking about, Paul. Because the ones them that I know when I was growing up, are the bush of them and the owner for the plantation. And them man them, you know, was the money man them. You know what I mean? The man them was say them a leave, go a bush and come back. Nothing about that was sexy. A real talk, Paul. Old school farming is not sexy. You know what I mean? The man them own the big property. That was sexy. The man them own the big banana plantation or coconut plantation. Those guys. You know what I mean? But we don't have within our own little people with them kind of property and stuff. But it doesn't mean if you're on 5 acres, 2 acres, 1 acre, you can do great things.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
And we
Ray,
need to
I can put an aquaponic system on a quarter acre and make millions of dollars.
There you go. So we just need to put forward, you know, images of those enterprises, those people. I think we got 1 minute left.
Yes.
And I want to take the time to thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Doc, for coming on and you know, letting us know how you see things, letting us know the great things you're doing at Case. And thanks everyone for participating. And and yeah, and the Facebook Live people, thanks for participating. And who else, Judy? Oh, Judy's reminding me of all the people I should thank. She's the producer in the background. And and look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Absolutely, Ray.
You know,
Okay.
bring a friend with you. Tell a friend about this because we tell people what they need to know about getting ahead as a farmer.
Yes.
All right. So we'll
But
see you guys
but
next
I
week.
tell you, Ray,
You're gonna
I'm
cut off. You're gonna
excited.
cut off 1 second.